Hey guys, welcome to beautiful Nicaragua. We find ourselves on the north side of Nicaragua, and today's video is an interesting one. I've been living here for 2 years, and I'm gonna share with you how much it costs to live in Nicaragua. I'm gonna go through my rent, my utilities, my cell phone, everything that you will typically need to know if you're moving to this country or maybe spending a year or two out here. And let me tell you, by the end of the video, you might wanna quit your job, take your savings, and go take a 3-year sabbatical and move to Central America for some time. So let's go ahead and dive right in with this delicious coffee. All right, guys, here we have it. Monthly cost of living. So I have Nicaragua, and then I have California on here. Now, I know it's not fair to compare both because they're completely different countries, but this is for only giggles here for comparison, just to take a look at what we were paying in California and what we're doing now in Nicaragua. So on the left side on the item here, we have broken down by every item. We're gonna go down the list and let's go ahead and dive right in. So the first one is housing. So housing, in Nicaragua, we rent a house. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, backyard in a beautiful neighborhood, and our cost is $280 a month. Now this is generally a little bit higher than what most people pay here in North Nicaragua, where it's cheaper. Once you get down in South Nicaragua, you might pay more for rent. You're looking at about $300 to $500 a month, depending how nice or how new your home is. In the States, we're paying $1,900 per couple. So actually the mortgage was a lot more, but we did divide it by 2 people. So obviously, right, 2 different worlds. You can't compare them, but here in Nicaragua, you can find some very beautiful spots right next to the beach where all the daydreaming you can do in the world for $300 a month, and you can live like a king. Let's move on to utilities though. Utilities is an interesting one. So here in Nicaragua, you mainly pay for water and electricity. There is no gas piped into the buildings here. So water and electricity right now, we're averaging $45 a month, which is way lower than the States where we would pay $350. That was like every month, it was like a stab to the back. It was just so much money. But here's $45 and then you get your water and your electricity. Keep in mind, some areas of Nicaragua, you only get water 3 times a week. So that means that if you're gonna rent a home, make sure you double check that it has a tank or a well. So that way you have water 7 days a week, or even longer if it doesn't come one of those 3 days of the week. So let's move on to food here. So now food. So here in Nicaragua, the vegetables, the meats, everything's a lot fresher than in the States. We spend $200 a month on food here, and that's eating like kings. We buy fresh everything a weekly basis, and we also buy like really organic stuff and tropical fruits. Like if we bought the amount of food we buy here in the States, it would be more than $650 a month in California. But when we're in California, we try to budget, so we would spend around $650 a month just to have monthly meals, and that was only for 2-3 people, so it wasn't even for a whole family. If you have a whole family, comment below how much you're spending a month here in the States to buy your food. So let's move on to the next one, amigos. Here, internet. So internet, I pay $40 a month. A lot of people ask, is there good, reliable internet in Nicaragua? And the answer is yes. We both work remotely from home, my wife and I, and it's awesome. The only time it goes down is if the electricity goes out, which does happen once or twice a month. But other than that, the pricing is comparable to the US. In the US, actually, I think it has a slight advantage in the sense that you do get more bandwidth for the price that you pay. Here in Nicaragua, the bandwidth aren't as high, but also the network isn't as cluttered. But either way, $40 a month that we pay here, I think it's a good deal for house internet, and has been serving us well so far. All right, let's go. Cell phone. So cell phone, we pay $60 a month for 2 people. Now cell phone, this is something that can vary between $30 to $100, depending on what you want to do with your cell phone and how much megabytes you want. And people pay $10 sometimes for the bare minimum. In the States, it was $120. Double the price, but I would say in the States, you get unlimited everything on your phone. So really, I think the States takes a slight edge on this because these are more well-developed countries, so they have better ways to make sure that you're getting taken care of on your phone bill. But Nicaragua is getting there though. It's not really falling behind that much. Now the next one, health insurance. It's a big one. Now health insurance is something that here in Nicaragua, a lot of people ask, can you tell me about health insurance in Nicaragua? Well, in Nicaragua, you have a different couple options here in health insurance, and a couple of them is public sector, which is free. which I don't recommend because usually it's full, cluttered, and are not the best conditions. You also have private, where you pay a monthly $50, $80 a month, depending on the coverage that you want. And you get to go to a private hospital, private clinics, private labs, talk to doctors privately. And that one I recommend because it is so worth it. You don't have to wait in line or anything, and that care is actually amazing. So for us, it's about $100 a month to go private, which has been a great investment. In the States, I put $0 because this varies a lot. If your employer provides health insurance, somehow someone's paying for it. So I left it at $0, but I know it can be a lot more in the States. Comment below, what do you think the general cost of health insurance in the state is? So maid and child care. So maid and child care, in California, we rule that out of the picture because I've heard people paying as much as $1,400 a month to get their kids taken care of, which is outrageous. Here in Nicaragua, we do have a maid and someone that helps us with the child occasionally, and we pay $200 a month. I know that seems little, and it is compared to the States. This person only works a limited amount of hours throughout the week, and we are paying her actually more than above average than anyone else is paying because we like to take care of our people. Let's go on to car insurance and DMV. So $15 a month. Car insurance, basically that's basic coverage. I don't have full coverage. For full coverage, I believe it's like $500 a year that you'll get full coverage. Comes up to what, maybe $50 a month. But with basic, it's been enough for me. And then every year you have to renew your tags and get a mechanical inspection. So it's about $150 a year. So $15 a month to get everything covered. In the States, it was $55 a month just for car insurance. That didn't include in DMV fees and everything else. Actually, if I include that, it's more like close to $200. I'm gonna add it in there because $55 was just car insurance. But then when you add tags and everything else for the cars we had, it was around $250 for everything out the door. Now, education, there is public system here in Nicaragua and it's free, but there is a private school where near the expats live. I've heard of people paying $800 a month for the kids to go to private school. But for us, we don't do that. We go all public. So it's $0. And in the States, it's $0 also for public school. Now, fun gets a little bit interesting. I wrote down $200, but this really depends up to you what your family spends on fun. But just know that here in Nicaragua, $200 will go 8 times longer than $200 in California. $200 in California, you'll blow going to a brewery and buying beers for all your friends. $200 here, you'll spend 3 days going to restaurants in Nicaragua and doing some activities. So I think your life does go up in value because you just don't need to spend as much. So maybe you don't need to work as hard just to live more comfortable, right? So it's interesting aspects to both worlds. So yeah, so that covers the main ones. If you have any questions about any other items, drop it below. But let's look at the month. How much is it total per month? And this is what the numbers say here. So a month, it's around $1,140. And in the States, it's around $3,535. Now, keep in mind, my budget here, I'm living and spending a little bit more than what everyone else does. You can go cheaper or you can even go more. If you spend $1,500 a month, you're gonna live pretty much so comfortable here. You'll have everything you ever wanted, basically. Or you can live with $800 a month. It just depends, right? And also, I'm not including there like costs for feeding a baby or any baby stuff because we do have a young baby, because that just varies per family, right? And in the States, $3,500. Sometimes it was $4,000. Sometimes it was $3,000, depending if you had those unexpected events where you need to spend in car repairs and everything else that life will throw at you. So you can take a look at that. It's around $2,300 to $2,500 cheaper a month to live in Nicaragua. So let's say you did have $20,000 saved up and you wanted to move out of the States for some time and kind of just enjoy, unbuckle yourself and not worry about the rat race. With those $20,000, you can come live in Nicaragua for 1.5 to 2 years, potentially to 2.5 years. If you're smart and you know how to stretch your budget, you can live here comfortably and take a 2-year sabbatical with your life if you're single and come relax. If you have a family, you can even do that with a family, guys. I'm telling you, it is so worth it. Here, let's take a look at the yearly now. The yearly, $13,600 versus $42,000 a month, a year to live in the States. $42,000. It really doesn't like hit me until you look at it on paper. If you go live in Mexico, go live in Guatemala, Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, these $13,000 are gonna go up or down, but either way, it's still gonna stay within that window by 10 to 20%. Now, which is crazy if you think about it, how much more people spend to live their life. Oh my God, I understand there's more opportunities and everything, but I suggest you look into alternative living for a portion of your life because you'll be surprised at how much more you can get here, out here in this world. And those is it. Those are the hard numbers about living in Nicaragua in our experience. There are a couple of hacks that you can do to save more money, or if you want to spend more money, then go ahead and do it because here you are capable of doing that. So hopefully this video was entertaining. If you liked it, please subscribe. We're growing a coffee farm out here in Nicaragua and pushing hard to build a community, make sure everyone's taken care of. And we are living here, so if you want to say hi, my links are down below. I also have fresh coffee from Nicaragua that I sell online that you can try directly from my farm. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.